What do you know about energy healing? Have you practiced anything? In this episode of the Speak Up Darling show, I'm in conversation with Marion from Marion Vibrations, and she's a Reiki practitioner, but also an astral traveler. And she's going to tell us all about Reiki, energy healing, how it works, and obviously her practice, specific practice. And we also have the chance for her to give us a glimpse of a session with me. I was really lucky.
And it's the time for the Speak Up Darling show. Welcome. And we have here Marion from Marion's Vibrations. I'm Vanessa, I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about energy healing on a big spectrum, but also on one of the tools. Many tools a bit still difficult to approach sometimes. That is the Reiki. And Marion has a really specific approach and a really authentic approach into how she helps people with the Reiki and with abilities and gifts that she's going to kind of approach and explain into this episode. So, Marion, let's talk about you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your YouTube channel. I'm so excited. So my name is Marion, alias Marion's Vibrations. That's how people now call me on Instagram. And I am a Reiki practitioner for 1 year now. But
it doesn't really matter the time of experience.
Light being, we're all light beings for this lifetime. So
yeah, you probably had this power and this gift from where you were born, as you choose your body and your mind. It's just you got to be open to it. Just really step into your power in a big kind of way.
Yes.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah, let's say I'm certified for a year, but exactly. I've had abilities as a child, and then they were blocked, and then I reopened again because life is a roller coaster and major shifts happened.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm living in France, although I'm working worldwide. So most of my sessions are on distance. I also do 101 sessions here in the south of France. But I lived in the US in the past. I moved to Kazakhstan for my studies because I hold a master's degree in international relations. But I'm not going to brag about this one because I left the field.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just bringing different kind of aspects of your abilities. We're not just one thing. You're not just a Reiki practitioner. You are several things, and your experience as a spiritual being into a human experience is what makes us unique anyway. So it's also really interesting that you choose a path before stepping into or revealing yourself to your gifts, and you choose a specific path that was already international.
Yeah.
So it's something.
I can remember when I was 12 years old, I told my parents, I'm going to move, and I'm going to move far away. So when I left home at 17 for the university, I went to Toulouse. They were not even surprised. They were like, oh, it's pretty close. And I was like, but wait for it. And so at 20 years old, I think I was 19 actually, I moved to Montana for a year. Okay. I really wanted to go farther than that, like Australia or whatever, but with the season changing, it was difficult to have my semesters and those universities because the university starts in January and in France it's in September. So I went to Montana, and then I came back, and then I went to Kazakhstan, and then I came back, and then I went to Texas, and then life forced me to come back.
Okay.
And I did work in the international relations here in Perpignan, but things didn't happen like the right way. And I was so fed up with how the system was, because you learn how you witness the world order, and you are like, do I want to be part of it?
Yeah.
And I was so fed up with it that I said, okay, I have my Reiki certification. I'm going to give it a try. now it's the time. I'm so exhausted with it.
Yeah.
Now I want to be my own boss and do what I'm feeling in myself, what I love the most. And so it's how I created my business early January, and I've been loving it so far. But we'll see. Maybe I will come back to international relations field in some years, months.
Well,
But yeah.
as you work worldwide and online, I mean, it's kind of international relationships anyway.
It's international energies relations.
Exactly. You're creating another connection, and
Yes.
you obviously, as we do Reiki or meditation, we participate to a collective healing. So more we promote this healing on a collective, on an individual, and then expanding on the collective, it's a really, it's just another face of your international studies.
Yes. And that's why I like to call myself a life experiencer, because I love experiencing new stuff. Since
Mhm.
I'm a child, I did swimming, I did dancing, I did Zumba, I did boxing classes.
Yeah.
I traveled a lot, and sometimes I just work full time for a job that's completely new to me, like wine harvesting last summer. And it's exhausting, but I loved it. I love being in nature. I love walking for the earth.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm going to do it again in September. But yeah, I like to have multiples life experiences. And yeah, because I cannot find myself in one specific area. Like, I wouldn't imagine myself do Reiki like 40 hours a week. That would be too exhausting for me. So I like to have multiples, like casquette in French, skills and tools. I'm
Yeah.
also a teacher online, but yeah.
Okay. That's a lot of skills that you can explore, and that's important, I think. Anyway, that's to be able to adapt also to what can happen, and the Reiki. It's this is the thing with energy healing is it needs also your own healing to, or your own care to be able to understand your clients, and but not attach yourself to it. And
Yes.
sometimes when you don't have, or when you don't experience different things enough, or when you don't have enough input into your life and you stick to one thing, you misunderstanding this, and you tend to attach yourself to what others are feeling or experiences. So it's something to be able to channel, and not attaching yourself to your empathy towards your clients. It is really important, because this is the point with Reiki. It's
Yeah.
something, yeah, it's
By definition, Reiki
yeah,
is the channeling of the universal love energy that the practitioner is channeling through his body, so through my body, and then I give back this energy to my patient through my hands, although it can like go with my eyes or nose. If you don't have hands, it's not a problem. But I'm not using my personal energy. I'm not taking your energy, because that's magnetism. Reiki is not magnetism. I am not messing with your own vital energy, and I'm not messing with mine. Although it happened with my sister that I was like, oh my god, I need to heal her. Like, what I can feel is so bad that I took this bad thing on me and then I released it. But that was not Reiki. Reiki by definition is only the channeling of the universal energy, the healing energy through my body that I give back to you. And then the energy is a smart tool. It knows where it needs to go, and it will help you the
yeah.
right way. And sometimes it doesn't look right, because you're like, oh my god, like a week after my session, this and it happened, and oh my god, I'm panicked and I don't know what to do. I'm like, those are situations that you need to live and face, that you need to not witness, face and work with them, because you are like, for so long you put them away, or like, oh no,
Mm.
I don't want to do the work. But now you have to face them, And it's through facing those hard times that you are evolving as well. So yes, most of the time you're like, I feel so good, I feel so great, this and this happened, so many synchronicities. But sometimes, and it happened to me as well, I was like, oh my God, I'm under a truck and everything is coming back to me. But I needed to face that to keep evolving. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the part people kind of misunderstand with energy healing. It's and also people practicing as a practitioner, they tend to see the practitioner as, okay, I put my hand on you and then you're healed, you're good to go. And in fact, it's not that. It's just we're channeling energy to help your healing, we're facilitating the healing, but at the end of the day, it's on to you. It is whatever you have to go through, or to face as a challenge or whatever. It's up to you to make it happen or not. And it's a really also a shift of perception of why is that happening to me, and to what I need to learn from it so I can grow and I can let go of this pattern, or pattern of, I mean, physical injury or whatever obstacle on the situation. But it's really important, I think. I guess you have maybe to repeat a bit when you have a new client or a new patient, and being clear on what's it's happening, and it's not like woohoo, and it's
Yeah, because a lot of patients come to me listing what needs to be healed or what's wrong in their life, like they will do to a doctor. To a doctor, you're like, oh, here it's painful, here on my leg it's painful, but even more than that, like, oh, in my life this feels wrong, and they would do a list of things. And at the end of the session, yes, I remind them, okay, like, I put my intention toward this specific thing, but the energy is a smart tool, and maybe it didn't only work on that, but also on something you didn't even witnessed or knew you had to work through your life. Like, you have to see it like layers. Oh, my arm is painful, but what's at the bottom? What's at the root? And then you're like, oh, okay, I need to work on that, and then work on that. And it's like an onion, with the layers. And then you go through the roots, you heal it, and then yes, everything makes sense. So most of the time I'm like, take notes of what's happening, of what you are dreaming, of the numbers you are seeing, of the people you are meeting, the conversations also. Like, your guides can talk through your parents or through your friends. Pay attention. And yes, when they take notes and then they come back to me 21 days after, because the energy cycle lasts 21 days. They come back to me most of the time. I'm like, okay, now I know. Now I understand what happened. And if they come back again saying, oh, yes, you helped my knee, but this is also hurting and it didn't do anything. I'm like, yes, it did. Look at your life. And then I will make a list of, look, you did that. You gained confidence. You quit your job. You are now doing this. Your knee is not painful anymore. But yes, there is still that stuff. But it's not gonna go away in 1 week. Okay? We are learning for a lifetime. We are experiencing for a lifetime. You are putting 100% of your focus on that, but look at what you have done. But it's human to see what's wrong and what had to be healed and what's right now. So it's a human part of the experience.
Yeah.
It's
but it's funny. It's funny to be so kind of is it called programmed with a medical relationship to every kind of practitioner, that from the moment you're a practitioner, people are going to give you a list of symptoms. And I mean, for example, for myself, I don't need list of symptoms. I will be just kind of scanning the body or scanning the words used, and it will just, okay, that is, it's not so much wrong, but that's imbalanced, and that's why you're gonna not being able to pursue what you want to do. But we've been in a short time in our history that we've been told to, okay, you go to the doctor and you give your symptoms when you know about them, and the doctor is here to make the link in between and finds, or at least cure the symptoms. So when you go for a different route, a more alternative route, that is energy healing, we tend to do the same way. When, well, as an energy practitioner, I talk to different kind of Reiki practitioner, and some are experiences. Some prefer not to know anything about the client before, but they will have signs, like feeling the joints unexpectedly into their body. And for example, I can have this connection with some of my clients. Sometimes I have pain in my knee or my back that is not mine. I just know it is not mine. That's and I will meet my clients in the week, during the week, and say, "Oh yeah, I had pain in my knee and I had pain in my back." Okay, that is from you. Okay, so but it's something that some I had also seen some practitioner having some this kind of coloring or sounds around that's experiencing. You have another gift that also is really kind of unexpected and maybe, I won't say unusual, but less talked about. That is the astral, how would we say, astral projection?
Astral traveling. I like
But-
traveling because, and I'm going to explain you why, because it's common to say that astral projecting or traveling is an out of body experience. And that's how we project it. When people explain it, they're like, I left my body and I saw myself, my human self, my physical self, and I went then over the clouds, or I went to a past lifetime. But my reality is when I turn off my brain, my mental, my reason, I go deep inside. And I'm sure you know the feeling. It's when like you meditate, you go deep inside yourself. Okay, you slow down your breath. And so it's really going deep inside me. And it's really natural. Like it goes like sometimes in one session I'm inside. I'm not out, I'm inside. That I'm astral traveling. So I'm not out of my body. It's like I'm B location. So I'm somewhere and I'm right into myself, in my Marion 2023, right in my bedroom doing my distance session. So I'm like both there and both here. But I've never had, or at least rarely had, out of body experiences. And I did it when I was so ill, when I had to come back from the US. At that time, I was working in the US, and life forced me through illness to come back home. And the pain was so intense that the only solution, because doctors didn't have any, was that at night in my bed, I would meditate, and I was like literally going out of my body. I didn't like, I was like, I didn't was like, oh my God, I need to go out of my body. But it was one solution, not to feel any pain from my body. But that experience, because I didn't know, what was happening, and there was so many events, psychic events, like ghost events that I was having at that time, and I didn't even know like the rules, like how to protect myself and what not to do and stuff like that. That when I was doing this out of body experience, because I was fleeing my body, not to feel the pain,
Yeah.
I attracted the light, yes, but also the dark, yes. I was out there, and they're like, there is someone, I'm gonna go to you and talk to you, and I'm gonna feeding with your energy. So that, yes. And then when I understood the rules and what not to do, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And now I know how it works. And so when now I explain what is astral traveling, at least in my reality, is I go inside myself, like I just focus with my soul, and then poof, and I don't even need to make any intentions, unless I'm like, okay, like show me, or at least I set intentions. Show me why this is happening. And often it's in my bedtime, because during the day it's only for the patients, and so when I'm in my bed, it's like my me time. And I'm like, okay, show me through my dreams why this specific point, or I'm like, okay, I want to dream, I want to have the love feeling into my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it happens, sometimes not, because they want me to work on specific stuff. Most of the time it's really tiring. But yeah, for my patients, astral traveling 90% of the time happens when I do distance sessions, because when I'm in front of the person, I'm too connected physically. I mean, I just put my hands, but it's like, okay, I'm enjoying the feeling of having my patients in front of me, and my consciousness doesn't take me into their past lifetime or what happened when they were a kid. No, most of the time, astral traveling and what I see and hear and feel happens during distance sessions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's important to make things clear that you're not going into their space. You're just more around in a different dimension. Technically, it's not like you are taking on your broom and going away.
No. I'm staying in my bedroom, and sometimes I'm going to see, yes, colors. But in one-on-one sessions, I see colors. I feel the spots that need to be healed, or I can feel like different stuff. But when I do distance sessions, it's like conversations, and sometimes it's one face, sometimes it's a whole conversation, sometimes it's one event that happened. And then I'm like, okay, if I have this info, it's because the patient needs to know. But I'm like, okay, does this reminds you of something? Are you familiar with that country? And then I see they're like, oh yes, I'm passionate about that. Oh yeah, it's often resonates with them. And I'm like, well, I'm having the info that you had a lifetime there, that you were with that man or with that girl, and does it speak to your soul? And sometimes they're like, oh my God, I have chills. I want to cry, or I want to laugh, and I don't know why, because it speaks to their soul. But then they have questions. Oh, of course, we are humans. They have questions. But what really happened after? Or what is going to happen? Like, what do I have to do with this info? I'm like, chill, okay? Your mental is asking a lot of questions, because we are humans and we want to know why and how and what's going to happen. But don't ask too much questions. If you had this info, it's because you were ready to have them. But don't try to understand everything.
Yourself to it also.
Don't try to understand everything. It will make sense. Like for myself, for instance, I had some informations like 2 years ago. I was like, this doesn't even make sense to me. And I had a lot of info, and this synchronicity, this event happening in this lifetime. And I'm like, okay, now I can see the whole picture.
Yeah.
But still at this point, I have some specific info. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this, but it's fine. It will make sense at some point. It's fine.
Yeah, it's funny because I think we tend to see too much, and I think we've been entertained that at school, when your history, and we've learned history as there is this date and is this date, and it's really linear. So if that happens, it will happen like this, and if it's especially the same pattern, you're going to have the same end to it. And when we experience past lives, we tend to just having the same kind of thing, or thinking of, okay, I lived that already in a past life, so what should I do to break it, or to copy it, if it's a good one? Rarely. It's not, we are not here to repeat good things. Usually we are here to heal kind of patterns from our past experiences, but we always kind of trying to see like a movie, and when it's not, it's just if you receive this message, there is a resonance into the actual lifetime, but it doesn't mean it's exactly the same. It's I remember when I did when I had a reading of past lives, and I had 3 past lives that was really resonating with me, and explaining why I'm so have these kind of fears. But it's just some, particularly one where really as strong, and I was really feeling into my body the life of this the feeling of this lady. There were even 4 past lives that was really, she just gave up her everything just to survive, and I really felt it into my bones, and it was to still detach yourself from it, because it is not you, it's an experience of your soul. And it's the message is that just an explanation of what's happening into your life right now, and but it's your job to find the key to unlock it and to heal the pattern again. So it's because at the end of the day, that's what you do mainly. It's to help finding the keys in some way, to but inside, and not from an outside kind of elixir or a potion that will solve everything. But
Yeah, exactly. My main goal is to bring awareness to the patient, and also responsibility and ownership. I don't
yeah,
want them to depend on me to feel good.
yeah,
Like, okay, you had one session with me. You know how it feels to be in connection with your soul now. But do the work to always be in connection with your soul. Don't just go back to me like every month. No, no, no.
yeah,
But that's why I'm teaching them. Okay, sometimes, most of the time, I have like exercises for them to do that their guides or their soul gives me. And so if they don't do it, or they're like, it doesn't make sense to me, then they are like, I mean, it's their lifetime, it's their decision as well. But
mm,
these exercises are meant for them to keep evolving
yeah,
and to reach their higher self. But actually, it's a good thing that you mentioned linear times, talking about history, because yes, I'm talking about past lifetimes to
mm,
make sense, because as you said, in school, we were taught linear history. But there is one good book, it's in French, like I can recommend. It's called Un homme debout. I don't know if there has been some translations in English, Un homme debout.
okay,
And it's not a novel, it's a debate where this energy healer, or at least psychic man, is having a conversation on how, and it feels right to me, that's why I'm talking about it. I had so many downloads reading this book. Is explaining that time, in fact, is not linear.
mm,
You have to imagine like a disco ball. So
mhm,
you have a disco ball, your soul is in the center, okay? And it rules the disco ball. And on each facet, each side, like the thousands or hundreds of sides
yeah.
of the disco ball is actually a lifetime that your soul is having.
That's a really good image of it. That's so much more
Yes,
expressive.
and it is explaining that, okay, for instance, you in 2023, you are waking up with a pain in your arm, and you're like, this sucks. It's painful. But in fact, maybe you are taking the pain from a lifetime your soul is experiencing right now, where you are having your arm cut.
Yeah,
And so you are taking a slightly bit of this pain, because in 2023, this rarely happens, and it's
yeah,
a more secure time. So you are taking this pain, this slight pain, because your soul is having a lifetime in, I don't know. I don't want to say a date, because if we say that time is not linear, but in a lifetime where you are having your arm cut.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's explaining that, yes, when feel painful, maybe it's because you are clearing karma from another lifetime that you are currently experiencing. But it's hard to understand for our human brain, because we are so conditioned to that linear history. But just to know that there are some dimensions that are happening right now is also helping. Why am I having issues with my parents? It feels bad. I cannot find a romantic partner. I feel alone, but okay, it's fine. You are meant to be alive in this lifetime and learn from your lessons. And although it seems difficult, although you feel like you are struggling, you are evolving, because you are experiencing what you will describe like failures or painful events. And you're like, why? Like, sometimes I understand it can be so hard. Yes, sometimes it's hard, but your soul chose to have this event for you, just to face it and feel it. And it's really the word, it's to feel it. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. Like, don't repress those feelings, because they will come back stronger. They will come back stronger. And every time we are clearing this karma, every time we are facing a difficult event, I swear the future events will feel less dramatic and more simple for you to face. Yeah.
It's just funny sometimes how we are so stubborn to not face the thing. And it's even if it's a repetitive, like always going for the wrong partner, that we know it's the wrong partner, but we still go for it because it's shiny or something, or seems like exciting or something. And until you really decide that I don't want this shit anymore, I want something new. And usually the universe will, at last, you understood.
Like for me, I used to be attracted by unavailable men. And then I was like, why? Like, why is he leaving me? Why am I single again? Not again, because I didn't have a lot of boyfriends, but I was like the chaser, and they were the runners. And actually, I did so much karma clearing, especially with one of my family members, that the energy was kind of stuck between our connection, that by clearing that, I actually attracted the right partner to my soul for this time. I'm not going to say it's going to last a lifetime, because I don't know. And that's one experience. But at this time, it feels right. And I feel heard, and I feel loved, and I can express myself fully. And they can do the same. And we are complete. Yes, but I did cry a lot in the past. So if you are relating to that, please like keep faith, because a lot of good stuff are happening. Yeah,
it's where we can own also our experiences, is to realize that you, especially if you look at your ex-partners and you see, there were a pattern there. You had always the same guy or same woman that you met. It's like friendship, is that there's, when you talk about relationship or attracting people, and if you still keep attracting the same people, it's because at some level there is a choice, there is a decision not make, or you don't use your free will enough. That's where you can use your free will. It's the universe don't do, or whatever guidance, they don't do until you choose. That's where you have the free will. They will just keeping on sending exactly the same thing because you keep sending the same signals.
Mm.
until
That's
you
why
decide.
the first step is witnessing. When
Yeah,
you start witnessing your thoughts, but also like your life events, are they repetitive or do they go on circle? Witnessing is really the first step,
yeah,
because through witnessing you can take actions.
yeah,
And when I have patients that are like, oh, I know I'm conscious about that, but I feel stuck, and I'm like, but be proud of yourself, because you reached the first step, which is you are conscious, you witness
yeah,
the pattern. Yes.
yeah. It's really that one of the power. It's always underestimated. It's the awareness of what you are doing when you are doing it, also, and or being it enough. Kind of even grown up in some way, not in an adult way, but just grown up enough to realize, okay, I've done that myself. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just happening by circumstances or because there is no choice. It's because I limit my choice on always the same thing that I know. And I don't let really new things coming to me. So if you're aware enough to realize that, well, I've done that and I know it's not good for me. So let's see the reaction quicker and make a real big change of saying no, really. Say no to no, that's the same guy again coming, the same jerk.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And
Enough.
that's why it's important, when I'm sure when people are gonna watch this video, they are interested in energy. So there is no coincidence that you are watching this, first thing. And then, yes, there is a physical appearance.
Yeah,
And of course, we are going to be attracted during our lifetime, even though we have a partner. Oh,
yeah,
he's handsome. Oh, she's beautiful. I like her hair. I like her eyes. But the important thing is the energy.
yeah,
Yes, you want a handsome partner, you want a tall partner, you want a fit partner, but what about the energy in the room?
yeah,
How do you feel next to him or her? How do you feel is really the question you have to like questioning yourself. How do you feel next to him? Or it can be friends also, and I'm sure you felt it, and a lot of you felt it. But when you go to a party, or let's say a friends gathering, and you enter the room, sometimes it's so heavy, and sometimes you're like, oh, I feel so good here, I don't know why. Oh, I
yeah.
feel so good by you. I don't like, you have a beautiful energy, I feel so good. And sometimes you meet a stranger and you
It's
say what, two words, or sometimes nothing at all, or it can be in the bus or whatever,
mm,
and you're like, I am drained, I don't have energy anymore, and I don't know what happened, but uh, I don't have energy anymore. And yes,
yeah,
that's I call them, or people call them, energy vampires. It's because sometimes they do it consciously, but most of the time they do it unconsciously. Like they
yeah,
are draining people energy and to feel better. But at the end of the day, you go back home and you're like, oh my God. And that's one reason why I stopped doing these full-time jobs in businesses or institutions, is because through a
Come on.
management that was not right for me, it was draining my energy, and I
Mm,
didn't feel heard or anything. And I would come back home and I was like, oh, it doesn't feel right for me to be there. Like, I am bored. It's not my lifetime mission, at least for that time. And oh, my boss took all of my energy, and she didn't even notice it. She's
yeah,
like, oh, you work so good, you are fast, blah 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 blah. Yes, she can do compliments, but at the end of the day, I go back home and maybe I have a salary at
yeah,
the end of the month, but where is my energy?
yeah,
And I remember it would take like so much time for me, like every day, every week, to clean my energy through Reiki, through my pendulum. And I was like, oh my God, like they don't even notice it, but uh, they have like um, some, it's like a trash around them, in their aura, and they don't, because they don't do anything and they are not conscious about it, so they just keep living like that. But when you are an empath and when you are sensitive to energies, I'm sure it speaks to your soul that sometimes some people, they are not just right for you, and do as much as you can to like be away or to have minimal conversations with them, because yes, it can be energy draining.
Yeah, it's difficult to admit also that, because there is in a lot of cultures, I mean Western cultures, where if you don't sacrifice yourself to your job, you're not good at your job. If you're stepping back and if you are kind of taking your time or still being efficient, but just not showing any sign of burnout, you're not good at your job. When you're giving everything, giving every hours, every kind of time we've been learning that we have to, that's where the badge of honor come from, because you gave sweat and tears and blood. And I'm the same kind of things. I don't want that. It's I've done it in the past too, and I've done what for? A salary. And it's relatively comfortable, but it doesn't show also my work, because at the end of the day, the main money goes to the boss. And I always find that unfair because it's not really on the field. It's not really, he might have good ideas or good guidance, but he's not doing the work itself. So it's a choice. Again, it comes back to the free will of, if you want to live a life that is kind, it's not just kind, but yours. If you want to own your life, like you want to own your mind and take your space in the world, like we should all do that normally, that we all have a birthright of it. It's the choice of taking responsibility if you want to be drained or say no. And it means changing some culture about that, about the work culture. I know that American people sometimes, when they go to France, it's a bit working, not as tourists, but working in France. They're always shocked about the lunchtime and that the coffee snack time also.
Breaks at work.
Breaks at work.
Especially in public institutions. More time at the coffee machine than in front of the computer.
And the work is still done. But we have just a bit more breaks and stuff. And or we have also, as employees, we have a bit more power in some way. In France, that when we go to strike, we just go to strike. Is not something that we should wait for. Off we go. And there's probably one thing in France where I'm kind of proud to be French, is that when there is a strike, you know that it's done quickly. There's probably the only thing done quickly in France is going to strike.
Yes, taking actions for rights.
Because the main bureaucracy and stuff, it's slow, paperwork, it's slow, but going to strike and saying no is it doesn't always work, as we got recently, but at least we are saying no as a group and as a collective, and that's on the energy level is still a lot and is still powerful. So it's really important just to be able to say that, and that is, you still have the power and the choice. Even if you feel that you don't have much choice, you still have the choice that owning your life and being a puppet.
Yeah, it's a good example of striving for our rights that are external from ourselves. Yes, they are fulfilling ourselves because we want to be paid when we are elderly and, with retirement, stuff like that. But a lot of people are not fighting for their internal rights, their energy, their soul. Like, is it fulfilling what you are doing on a daily basis? Because so a lot of people put so much energy fighting for a specific cause or going on strike. And it's good. Yes, you are showing up, but do you show up for yourself as well?
Exactly, showing up for ourselves.
Yes.
That's, I think we don't learn that. It's because we don't learn that. We expect to learn it as we live or as we survive, like school. That's our first approach of society. But we don't give the tools. We don't give the tools on how to show up for yourself. We don't teach on how to step into your power at a young age. You're just going to learn it as you go. And I think it's one thing to some people have the reaction of it, and some people really don't have it. I didn't have it when I was a kid. I was just feeling every kind of feeling that were in the room and not knowing what it was, not being able to stand up for myself except fighting, but it was not fixing anything. It was just making you even worse. So it's be able to open a bit more to tools also, and awareness is one of them. It's not that easy,
Mm-mm-mm.
but it's one of them.
But I
So
have faith that it's gonna
yeah,
change, and it's in the right way with the rise of the consciousness, the global consciousness, and that a lot of people are going to take actions for themselves, and therefore changing their energy and changing their awareness is going to impact, because we are all connected, it's going to impact the
yeah,
collective as well.
yeah.
Yep.
And that's even better, that you know that every work you do for yourself does impact in any way the collective. Because you can see when you start to do self-development or personal development workshop or whatever, even just reading a book about that, you start opening doors, opening new connections, and it shifts in your reality, and it shifts around you. Some relationship shifts, or they just go away, or they just bringing the into a new level into the relationship. And even on the collective, even more world collective, it does has an impact. So it's really something uh, uh, that we have so much power that we still kind of put aside, or put that as a woohoo thing. But it's so much more than that. And having you as a practitioner of your own power and expanding it as you're doing it, it is really important. And I'm really lucky because I'm gonna have a glimpse of it.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me.
So first, before recording this video, I cleared the energy in my room.
Okay.
So that's the first step that I do when I do a distance session. I'm clearing the energy in my room. But when I do one-on-one session, it's at home, not in my home, but in their home, because I like to work with their energies, with their
Yeah.
room energies. I also clear them.
Okay.
So
So you
that's
do
the
that
first step.
at the beginning of the session?
Yes, before doing it, I'm like, okay, you can relax, you can set yourself on the sofa, on the bed, and I'm gonna work with the energies of the room, just to be sure, like we are fine. I'm gonna raise the vibrations of the room as well, and when it's done, so you won't see it because the video will stop, but I will also clear the energy in my room just to make sure there is no
Mhm.
we never know what can happen. So I will clear it again. But I also do that when I work with my patients. I clear my bedroom's energy or their room energy after a session to make sure the vibration is still high and has not been impacted. So what you can do is, okay, you slow down, you breathe slowly and you relax. You can close your eyes. Actually, maybe it will be better. And I will take some seconds to connect myself to you. Okay. So just, yes, be open to everything that's coming to you. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. Just be connected and feel it. Okay. How are you feeling?
I don't know if I have a word for this. Strong. It's a lot of wave of vibrations. Connected. Also.
Okay.
What did you feel?
At first, I saw the color red.
Oh.
And no, don't worry. It's linked to the root chakra.
Yeah.
But it's also a color I see when I feel my third eye that's opening. But yeah, I didn't even notice you had a red shirt. So actually red maybe your color. And then so I sent you a lot of love energy, healing energy from the earth, that even though I'm a set, I can feel going from the root to my body. And then I had my hand like this. I set the intention of putting this love energy, like putting you into a love bubble energy. So that's really interesting what you felt with it, because we all have different sensations with that. But yeah, you were in a big purple, pink love energy all around you, and then I saw like your aura going brighter and bigger, and then I saw, I don't know if an eagle is the right animal, but one of those type of birds, because sometimes I see animals and I'm like, wow, I don't know you, and then I'm I go to Google and I'm like, I don't know that species, and I need to, because the patient is curious. So I will try to find it this afternoon and send it to you.
Yeah.
I will make sure if it's an eagle or a cousin.
Yeah.
That's part of the same family. And then yeah, he was standing in front of me, and it was like he was connected to you at this present time.
Okay.
And then it disappeared, and it was like, okay, like it was linked to your strength in general, your life strength and courage. It was linked to that.
Okay.
Yes. And then I asked you, how are you feeling? And then it disappeared, and then I felt a strong energy in my hand. My right hand was like this, was channeling the energy, like, some tickles.
Yeah.
It was playful. And then I was next to you, so I was astral traveling, going inside myself. I was next to you, and I put my hands on your eyes, because that's the first position I do when I do Reiki sessions. At first, I work with the aura, and then I do like, I put my hands on the eye, on the head, here on the heart, sometimes at a distance, depending on the location, the body part. And then I ask you, how are you feeling? And then I stopped. So that was just a glimpse of a session.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but it will be interesting that just with a glimpse, what can happen around me and in the next few days, because it's sometimes, no matter the time, it's the
Yeah.
connection in between the energies and how you receive it. And obviously, I'm sensitive to what I receive, but yeah, and the type of eagle also standing there. It's something that would be interesting to know a bit more, because the animals are really significative. It's something that's, no, you're not here by mistake.
No, there is no coincidence. And like you said, sometimes, so my sessions last from 1 hour to 1 hour 15.
Mm.
And sometimes I don't check my time, but I feel like after the first 10 minutes, 80% of the job has been done. So I will keep continue doing it because it feels good to the other person and it just flowing more energy. But I know the biggest job part has been done sometimes the first few minutes of the session, and that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So you will see how you feel after that. And as I say, after each session, drink a lot, drink more than usual, because what needs to be released has to go away. So drink more than usual, listen to your body. If you have food cravings, go for it. If you want to sleep, well, try to listen to your body. If you can go to sleep earlier today or whatever, you can feel a bit fatigued, tired the next 3 days. And after you can have a energy boom, but sometimes people, like 20% of people, are like, no, I don't feel tired at all, and I can already feel the energy, like I feel more empowered right now. But most of the time, 80% of the time, you feel tired. I know I feel exhausted when I do one on myself, and then I tell them, and I'm telling you, the cycle is 21 days. So consider the energy work done after those 21 days. I know it's a general date, it's a general duration for the cycle, but yes, maybe for you it will be done in 30, maybe for you it will be done in 15. Most of the time it's 21 days.
Okay.
For every energy session you can have, it can be Reiki, it can be something else. It's 21 days.
That's really interesting. Okay. I will keep you updated about
Yes, please do. Please do.
and yeah, it was really funny to feel that sometimes when I receive it, sometimes it's a bit strong, and it's like I'm shaking. I feel shaking, but I'm not shaking.
You are shaking inside.
Yeah. And there it was really waves. I could feel the waves on it, and kind of refreshing waves on it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
That was good. A good thing. I feel my hip a bit, my right hip, some tension in it. Um, but if I have the energy of courage and strengthen it, I should be fine to help to
Do
release.
you have some tensions in your jaw?
Yeah,
Because I felt it at first.
yeah.
I forgot to mention, but I felt like some tensions here.
Mm.
So I felt like the energy was trying to also release. Maybe you have energy knots that are blocking, and that's why you have some pain. But I could feel it, yeah, in your jaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I felt uh, the relaxation especially into the face on here, and more there, and yeah, to helping out into this kind of ease into the position, because I mean, it's something that um, I do practice, but it's just nice to have another input into our own energy, and that just turn down turn down the tension, pick, and and go for something a bit different, and it's like having a new music, or a new shower gel or something, when you have a new sense into it. So really, thank you for that.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for showing a bit your or giving us a glimpse of how you work, and I keep you update about what's happening around, even in 10 minutes, because yeah, time is an illusion in any case.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, and it's funny that I just remind myself that this cobble is a bit like any, like the human body is working in the same way, that we're not working like just layers lasagna, as I keep saying. But it's really interesting that the body, if it doesn't have the skeleton or the muscles and the ligaments and the fascia, make it happening all together, and not just you have the gravity keeping you down or the floor pushing you up. Is an assemble of more sphere than just one thing making everything else happening. It's just an assemble of it.
Well, I'm
So
sure the book will speak to your soul as well.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember when I was reading it, I read it in 3 days. It was intense because it was so much resonating with me that I had some stomach pains and I had a lot of downloads from my past or simultaneous lives,
Yeah.
images, and I could understand a lot of things. I know this book may not be for everyone because it can be quite intense for the human brain to understand.
Mhm.
But at least when people are not, when they don't judge, if they are open to read it, and then they will be
Yeah.
like, okay, this resonates to me, or no, I don't feel the call for that book, but I'm
Yeah.
sure it will speak to your
Yeah.
soul.
I think I will have a look on this book. That would be really interesting to read. Thank you so much, Marion, for sharing your work, for taking this time to drive us to Reiki.
Yes. Thank you so much. If some people are interested in working with me, I
Yeah.
do one-on-one session here in the south of France, but I 80% of the time do distance sessions. So I
Yeah.
do private sessions, but I also do sessions that are like follow-up to work on a specific and strong issue on at least four sessions quite consecutively, but it allows the energy to really go deep on that matter that you are focusing on. And I also do Reiki on animals as well. So both
Ah,
distance and one-on-one. I do Reiki on my dogs. I do Reiki sometimes when I see a bird falling, and I'm like, okay, take that energy and do whatever you want with it. But yeah, Reiki can be done on any living thing. Like before taking a pill, if I have to, I
yeah.
do Reiki before. And so it suppresses the side effects. If I'm not sure about the water I'm drinking when I'm traveling or whatever, I do Reiki on my glass and it clears the energy on the water. So on any living thing, any living cells, there has to be some energy. Energy can be done. Yes.
Oh, that's really interesting. That. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
So you can find me on Instagram. It's
yeah.
Marion's Vibration. So Marion dot vibrations on Instagram. And my website is marionvibrations.com.
Great.
It's in French,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Ah,
But
okay.
yeah, my website is in French. My Instagram is in
Just
both English
book
and
a
French.
call. Voilà. Just book a
Yeah.
call. You know, Marion is
Yeah,
speaking.
book a call, DM me. You have
Yeah.
my email address also, and I will
Instagram.
put it in the comments, everything, my info.
Yeah.
So you can feel free to comment and
Yeah.
to
Every handle, every link will be in the descriptions, just under the video. And yeah, I do recommend to have a try, have a go on something new, on something much more deeper, and with always a spectrum of love. It's never against, and it's always for better, and it's not to beaten yourself up. It's always for better. Thank you so much, Marion. It
Thank you
was
so much for having me on your channel. Thank you.
thank you, and for all of you, I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.